Hi Leo, welcome to your Aquarius season reading for February 2025. Before we start to shuffle the cards, meaning me, shuffle the cards into your energy. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as extended reading option, which is in the first link below. This will be there, all of the extra stuff I do. There's a free guided meditation below, and the new moon video is out, and yours is all about love, or a certain situation in your life. So I was like, let's do the Leo reading ASAP right after I did that. And yeah, there's just a lot happening in the realm of your 7th house right now. So today, as I'm doing this, Mercury is entering Aquarius. In 2 days, we'll have the Aquarius new moon, which has a lot of aspects around it. Uranus is moving directly after. So, and then also there's an aspect with Pisces, which is in Venus right now. And so if you have the opportunity, of course, we'll talk about it if it comes out in the cards, but if you have the opportunity to indulge and be luxurious, even if it's in the realm of conversation, this might be a great day to have a tough conversation, or a great week too, because there's a lot of love, openings for love. And whether it's the renewal or the ending and everything in between, or if you're meeting someone, there's so much happening in that area of your chart. We also have the sun there. Obviously, we're in the sun. And then this is a Neptune card as well as a Virgo card, but the nervous system is big for this new moon too. I mean, when is it not at this point in our lives? But this is a time where, because Mercury is connected directly to this new moon having gone into Aquarius as of today, there might be a lot on your mind. There might be a lot you've been hiding or keeping hidden. You might not realize how much you've been contemplating too. Especially if people who are around you are used to being exposed to the version of yourself that's more outgoing, outspoken, lighthearted. You've been in more of a deep contemplation, especially as Mars went retrograde in your 12th house. It was retrograde in your 1st house for a while, and it will go direct in your 12th house. It's now in your 12th house, and it will go direct in your 12th house at the end of the month. So, and this is for Leo risings. Of course, the energy can work for the sun and the moon, but everything I'm talking about with the houses has to do with Leo rising. However, I do feel like there's always a connection. So this Hanged Man is like, there's stuff that maybe has been wanting to come out, stuff that you've been over contemplating. We have the 9 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the 3 of Pentacles. This is the time to have the hard conversations. Is it time to just, the saying in my head is let bygones be bygones, but just to cut your losses? That's another thing. Meaning, this can mean a multitude of things. It's Aquarius season, an air sign season, an air new moon. This is layered. We have so many things going direct, and there are so many layers in which we're working with in a redirection, in retrograde right now. And the reason why it's so much bigger is because you're seeing all the small patterns possibly come out in your life that have caused you to deeply contemplate something, but also it is a time where you can get stuck in your head. It is a time where it can be, Aquarius season can be like that. I think it was more Capricorn season though for you that was like that. And now this season, you're either mustering up the courage or preparing yourself maybe by doing smaller acts of communication, things that you know you need to talk about, but because this is more of like, this will be exposed no matter what. Like, you will say something no matter what, but when, right? The timing. This week's a great time. So if you put the intention out there to have this hard conversation, whether it's at work or in love, with someone, maybe it's just a one-on-one relationship, like a deep connection. This could be with a Virgo for some of you, but this can also be surrounding Virgo themes. So this could be about writing. This could be about the way that you think and how it connects to your body, what you're digesting at this time, what you've realized has been more attached to guilt instead of moving forward. And usually if something comes up in your head over and over and over again, it's time to address it. And if it is, again, a conversation, a hard conversation that you do need to have towards the middle end of the week, this week, I would say, right? This will be out the day before the new moon. So that would be the best time to possibly speak up for some of you, especially as Mercury has moved into Aquarius. You have more room to roam in your mind. You can see also, and you may want to address past situations, and this could be your opportunity to do so, to clear up some things. For others of you, addressing what's present is going to, on many levels and layers, clear up a lot of past situations. Finally, for some of you, putting your best foot forward, saying the thing instead of avoiding it, really, instead of avoiding it. Because what it will do is it'll give you more sense of self-worth, more power, especially in terms of what you believe in. Okay, look, there you are. We're just going to take these out. We're just going to do the bottom. Uranus goes direct in Taurus. Speaking up does wonders for you, especially because as a Leo, you're not used to doing that. But however, everyone has and goes through their weaknesses, even in places that they feel strong, right? So if you normally feel strong in your voice and you've been in more internal as of lately, which speaks volumes as well for you in your presence, your worth is now, and what you really believe in and what you find value in is, you're finally, after years of maybe contemplating religion or spirituality or marriage or what it looks like to connect, what it looks like to connect to something deeper, what it looks like to connect and not only connect to yourself in the physical world, but to the space around you, to life around you, a belief system of sorts. And what happens around this new moon, so this is the new moon, and then the full moon will be in your sign in a couple weeks. What you get perspective on is where you've been focusing all this loving energy and where it has been draining from you, keeping you stuck, keeping you in your head. Now you're realizing that what's stopping you is knowing that there has to be a courage and belief on the other side, that this conversation won't blow things up. And if it does, either way, you're going to have you're going to have a feeling of your sense of self and connection to yourself in this way that you've been going back and forth about in terms of spirituality, what you believe in, what you're not willing to settle for any longer, which before was fun for you, had no problem, but now you're realizing you're becoming a little bit more serious about your overall health, from your spiritual hygiene to your physical hygiene. That's your emotional, mental, all of it's connected. And it actually reminds me of this story. This person was not a Leo, but I kind of want to share it with you. I've had actually a few stories like this, but there's one significant where I had a friend who and that's what this is reminding me of. And I've had more stories like this, but because this is about your one-on-one relationships, love, friendship, whether it's people you work closely with, just the very intimate relationships in your life, and especially if you have multiple or you're single and dating, you're creating intimate relationships, right? Or you're wanting to, on whatever level it is that you're on. And what happens, so you have both, I'm going to get to the story, but you have both the throat and the neck, which is Taurus, and then we have Aquarius, which is the ankles and the calves. Those are both the extremities. They're the equivalent to each other, right? The neck connects the body and the head, even though, it's all connected. This is just the part that literally connects that, which is connecting you to yourself, to your, like you to yourself, you are yourself. Connecting your mind to your body is the gateway is through your voice, whether it's your beliefs to the higher realm that connect you to yourself, and your ankles are that connection to the grounded connection to the higher realms, right? So it keeps you steady and sturdy, and it connects your feet, what you move forward with, what carries you. And your voice is what also, it's not just, your voice is not, your feet are what carry you, but your voice is what reveals who you are, all the way down to the tone. So a lot of times, even in our friendships or relationships, we don't always see what we need to see. We don't realize that it actually sometimes connects to something subconscious or an ailment in our body that we're not addressing because it's not that obvious all the time. And what happened is that I presented something to a friend that, even though I was obviously, and it made me sad and I was crying and I didn't know how to deal with what I was going through, but I did present something, and this was someone that I thought we had a deeper connection. And what I brought up was so harmful that they couldn't even have a conversation with me, even though it was revealed to me the next day that there was a lot of accountability that I needed to take. However, I had never presented like something like this in our friendship, and I have gone through a lot in relationships personally. I've had a lot of work and revelations and lessons in that area of my life. So what I'm connecting here is that even though I approached it very vulnerably, and then in the next few days, maybe it was just the codependent in me that needed to find a solution at the time. And this is a great time to check in with the codependent inside of you, because we're all codependent of something. If you got a phone, you're probably codependent. If you have, friends, like we're supposed to be, but there's an extent of it, right? So in the story, because of the sequence of events, even though I owned it, there was still betrayal there on the other side. There was still, because that person had other stuff going on, was worked through only so much. Granted, we're all on our own journey, I know that, and it's taken me a while to integrate. But just speaking that, even though that person's not in my life anymore in any way at all, to be honest, what I learned there was that it wasn't safe for me to be vulnerable in that relationship. And afterwards, I felt better. There was something there that, because personally, I've had to learn to speak up for myself, regardless of who stays or goes. In my life, this is one of those times for you. It's about being so worthy within yourself, regardless of the emotions that are coming out and regardless of how the other person or the other party is going to take this. It's you being very authentic with who you are at this time and what you've discovered. You may not even realize what you're saying is about to affect someone, but it's coming from a deep sense of self and knowing and contemplation. And all you want is reassurance or validation, and you'll get it, and by their actions. It's not, please do your best to not look at what these people are saying to you. At this time, this is a great time to observe people. Keep your observation, even if you feel great after doing what you got to do, regardless of the outcome. You want to be observant of other people's body language. Like, yes, it could feel so good to get off what we need to, that we don't recognize the other person, because it can be hard to. But if there's a way where you can get really grounded within yourself, maybe do a little meditation or a brief check-in with your body to become present. Even if you feel anxious or whatever, you just talk to your nervous system, talk to yourself in a way that's it's okay, we're safe. I'm safe. I'm safe. It's okay for me to speak my truth, right? It's okay for me. You know, it's more than okay to speak up for myself right now. It's actually a huge act of love, speaking up for myself, right? This is when love becomes like a true verb. And over the course of the next few weeks, up until the next full moon, it'll be revealed to you the amount of courage and the amount of compassion you have had and how much you've lacked for yourself. How much this situation or this person, because this could be a Taurus or an Aquarius or to do with a marriage, where the lack of you, like the lack of your voice in this area, and like not just saying it because you're hurt, right? Saying it because it's true, because it's real, Mercury, because your nervous system will be better for it. People are going to talk and they're going to say what the fuck they want to say, but guess what? You know yourself. You know yourself. We'll get more into this into the second part. But this is a time where you get to use your skills of being, like, even if you're such a great talker and people person, but then when you get home, there's a shutdown, there's something to look at. Why do you get shut down? What is that? Where does it stem from? You may notice that it stems back from many years ago, right? Pluto is also in your 7th house for the next 20 years. Think of that as an experiment on your relationships and this deep transformation and this intimate connection with Pluto that you're going to have along the way. So if you are dealing and you are in a marriage and you have to bring this stuff up, you might want to bring a third party in to help correlate this, but it's also maybe just time, especially if you've been walking around like the hard things, the things that maybe you don't want to talk about. Sorry about that. Maybe the things you don't necessarily love talking about, or the meat of it, you finally get to like the meat of the conversation. You finally get to, okay, where are our beliefs and our values not adding up anymore? Or where are they, and where can we focus on the positive to help if you want to stay in this marriage, if you want to stay in this partnership, where can we work with each other? Where can we expose ourselves truly and not hide, even though you can't really hide? But if you're not willing to accept and be upfront with where you're at, it's just like, you know, addiction, like you have to, or an eating disorder, any issue that you have to like be willing to be open to knowing that you have it first, right? You can't change anything you can't change anything or help anything or heal anything first without, it's like having, what is it? It's like having permission from yourself. You can't, unless you accept it of yourself. You need to be able to ask yourself first and be honest and open, right? It's not like someone just takes you on a date. They have to ask you first. Like you need that permission slip from yourself. And I think the permission slip is speaking up for yourself. And then all of a sudden there's this influx of, there's this connection with your value and how much you believe in yourself more, and you didn't realize how tied it was there, but there has been a lot that you've needed to think through, work through in your mind, and what a great time to be able to do this with all this Aquarius energy. And for some people, it could feel overwhelming and a lot because there's so much happening, but as a fixed sign, you kind of like being able to explore. And now if you can just be okay with exploring your mind, maybe having someone else help you, maybe talking it out, air sign season, everything from every corner of your brain, what's going on, being able to get it open and out there. And if you can actually have that conversation with someone that you're dating, or, you know, someone you're deeply involved with, I think that would even be the opening to a greater connection for some of you. If you are single, you could potentially meet someone going into the first week of February, even like the end of like this week going into next week. What it's going to do is consistently ask you what your boundaries are, what you're willing to give, and also showing up as your authentic self regardless of what that may look like. And that if you're not there yet, you'll see like if something's not working out, or if you're not vibing, it's because there's a part of you that's still holding back. So you're going to start to notice where you're holding back, where you're not, where you need more support in your life to be more open-hearted, to be more yourself. And this support could just be from a spiritual belief. Like something that you've been hiding, because there's been the past few years, what I've noticed about you, Leo, about you guys, is like you'll go in, and we've talked about this before, you only go in so far, dip your toe in something, then you come back out, right? There could be something though that you actually can engage in, you've been working with a long time, and there is spiritual probably practices within what you're doing. So in your career and your hobby and your side gig, even if this is more about you learning about relationships and wanting to deepen your knowledge about how they work, boom. But if it's not, and I know most of you, it's probably not, whatever modality or whatever you're interested in, it could be technology, right? Could be anything. You want to deepen your skill set. You want to maybe learn more at this time, or utilize what you've learned in a way where you can collect data or start to see the change or the whatever it is that you're working towards, or deepen your connection with, because that could be your spiritual connection. You don't have to do more. You don't have to do what other people are doing. You just have to know and trust yourself. It's like if you're someone who's dabbled in like mushrooms, it's like trusting the trip. It's having the intention and trusting what's going to play out. This is like that when you're entering a new stage in life and it feels different or mysterious. It's about trusting yourself, trusting your decision. This connection, speaking up for yourself, even when it feels vulnerable, even if you feel like you said the wrong thing, did the wrong thing, whatever it is, it's probably not true. And it's you deepening this expression of yourself, especially the way it settles into your nervous system. Because what you will notice by the end of the month, it's like this cleansing that you've got, but it wasn't just a cleansing, it also helped you rebuild. It helped you see where you need to, because you're not someone who doesn't speak up for yourself, but it's more about not being afraid to when you're doing it, so that you do it quicker, that you go from point A to point B quicker, so things don't fester. And I think that's what you've realized through this contemplation, is that sometimes maybe you let things fester and you put things away, even though you feel so drawn to it. It's like you avoid it, but it's going to just keep calling you back, especially if it is just more of spiritual guidance, more of a mysterious, magical connection, this magic, everything that felt like woo-woo or whatever, you're now you're like tapping into your inner woo-woo in a way where you're more outspoken about it, you're more connected to it, you don't feel any type of way about it, you just are who you are, which we know Leo is, but there's just this change, and you want to share. You want to be vocal about it. You want to share what you think even more in a different way. And if it's at work and you want a promotion, perfect time to ask for it. This is a great time to ask for more money, a promotion, or taking on more responsibility if those two things go hand in hand wherever you are, or maybe taking on more clients, doing more of your side gig if that's what you want to do, if that's art, doesn't matter what it is, you want to put more energy into it this month, because finally you've let out something, you've let something go, you're airing shit out, and now you have time and energy to devote to that. Because even when things are festering in your mind and you can still like do life, you can't do life efficiently as well. So it's time to get it out. And for some of you, this could just be writing it out, right? I talked a lot about communicating. This could be about writing it out as well, or recording something, whatever that is. Whatever it is going to help calm your nervous system and have you feel more independent from anyone in your life who you allow to bring you down. Because or reveal to you as well anyone in your life where you've been iffy about, or you maybe didn't even think that they would be talking shit or saying whatever they're saying about you, and you find out that they are. So this is a time, that's why that observation and being set back, because you can go off, you could do whatever you want, but I think you're now more focused on you. And maybe you needed to hear that. And maybe you're seeing that and hearing it now because you can handle the truth. Because you're now giving it, so now you can handle it even more in this specific way. I'm not talking about other areas of your life. I'm talking about this situation, whether it's in love or your career. Because you will see the people and the abundance of the community and the goodness that you have around you in your life during the first full week of February. That will become very apparent to you who is really someone who cares for you and is closer to you, and then who's not. You're going to see how you can actually rely and ask people for help if you need to, especially if this is a situation where you have to move out, or you need help with your kids, or just different parts of your life. This is now a time where you're starting to vocalize, address, ask for help and you're feeling lucky. There's certain ways in which you feel really lucky to be a part of the community that you're in. You feel very fortunate for the people who are showing up, of course, right? So what else? Yeah, an old way of thinking, an old perspective, old beliefs are now beginning to die. And you're now by speaking up, you're establishing new ones. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. And the more power to you. You may feel more like yourself than ever, especially by the Leo full moon on the 12th. So just notice what it feels like in your life to go from the 4th to the 12th. Even starting on the 30th this week if you want. Notice the next few weeks and how they just transform. And you can decide to be a part of it in a way where you don't feel like you have to catch up, but you're actually there and with it. Yeah. So whatever's on your brain is because you've finally been able to digest some shit, and you realize that there's been something you've needed to get out of you instead of fight with or mull over or linger on. And it's time not to be scared anymore, because if someone loves you for who you are, you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to have these conversations. That is my belief, anyway. Take it for what you will. Now that the reading's over, I shall put my rings on. Okay, Leo. So much love. A lot to talk about. More in the next part. I'm very excited to get into this next part because there's so many majors that correlate with what's happening right now. Take care of yourself, ground yourself. If you need any extra support, all information to work with me is below. Guided meditation, your new moon reading, and we'll talk to you soon in next month.